Spiro Egdos knew he wanted to start a business. He just had no idea what to start. So for months, he looked at business listings and researched opportunities, trying to find this one great idea that was going to jump off the page and tell him, this is it, this is the one. But nothing was clicking. And then one day his wife asked him to clean the garbage bins. Not take the trash out, actually clean the nasty bins, the kind of job that makes you question your life choices. Now, Spiro did not love that idea, so he went shopping for someone else to do it for him. And he actually found a small company a couple hours south of him in Florida with a specialized truck for washing garbage bins, basically a mobile car wash, but for trash cans. But he just couldn't convince the guy to drive 2 hours north for a $15 job. But what he did walk away with was something better than just clean bins. He walked away with a business idea. He ended up buying a custom truck from this business owner and built it into a small fleet of trucks and a multi-million-dollar company. I've had a chance to talk with Spiro, and what I love about his story is that he found this idea right in front of his face. He might have actually missed it if he hadn't already been looking so deeply for a business to start. He found it by paying attention to his own problems. And he's not the only one. Wendy Salerno, another client of ours, was frustrated every time she had to take one of her daughters to a dance. She had to go 45 minutes out of her way to find a decent prom dress or tuxedo rental. And that frustration actually turned into Dariana bridal and tuxedo. Or one of our clients, Trevor Chargois, who loved bananas but hated how quickly they bruised. He discovered that hanging actually helped him, but he didn't love those bulky countertop stands. So he went to the hardware store, started experimenting, and eventually ended up creating what became the Banana Bungee. It's now a company. These weren't lightning bolt ideas, at least not at first. They all started as the kinds of common annoyances each of us encounter every single day. For example, this morning I went to the grocery store to pick up a few things. I was actually looking for a caffeinated drink, but I wanted one that wasn't loaded with sugar or have a bunch of questionable sugar substitutes like sucralose. I must have stood there for 10 minutes reading cans before I eventually settled on some subpar option. In that moment, I'd usually just forget it, but of course, I'm here talking on a video about how there are business opportunities buried in our problems and everyday annoyances, so it's top of mind. All that is to say, if you haven't found the right business yet, maybe the issue isn't that you don't have any ideas, maybe the issue is you just haven't trained yourself to notice them. And I say that as the CEO and co-founder of a company started on this premise. In 2002, we were courting investors for a real estate project we were running, and we just learned about self-directed retirement accounts. And when we introduced the idea to some of our investor contacts, people were super interested. But we found the process of helping them get these accounts set up super frustrating, confusing, time-consuming. It was just painful. And at some point, we took a step back and said, why is this so hard? There has to be a better way. That question eventually led to some conversations with a group of local attorneys who helped us craft an initial solution that was more investor-friendly. And that product, that service, was what initially launched Guidant 23 years ago. But it wasn't like it started with some grand vision. It started with us observing the frustration we were having. And that's been true of most of the successful businesses I've helped co-found. So here's my simple challenge to any of you out there who are still looking for a business idea. For the next 30 days, I want you to keep a running list on your phone or notebook, depending on how digital or not you are. And every time something frustrates you, every time you think, why does this work this way? Every time you feel like there has to be a better option, just write it down. And I'll give you 2 examples that happened to me in the last 24 hours. I was leaving a building yesterday afternoon, went to pull the handle to a door, only to learn that it wouldn't open unless I pushed it. Pull handles on push doors. Doesn't make any sense to me. Then later that day, I dropped my daughter off at dance class. That was last night. I only had about 45 minutes before I needed to pick her up. So I was thinking, I'm going to go to a coffee shop, or there's a place I can sit down with my laptop, return a few emails, and then I'll go get her. But the coffee shops were all closed. So instead, I sat in my car, kind of like you're on the plane with that laptop up in your chest. But the goal here isn't to capture just ideas that are good enough, scalable enough, or investable enough, because the first goal really is to build your awareness muscle. You don't have to evaluate all the ideas or turn them into business plans. Like, don't overthink it. Just capture it. Capture the annoyances as they happen. And later you can go back through the list and start filtering for the ideas that interest you, and maybe have a sizable enough market to make them worthwhile to explore. And next week, I'll actually walk you through a simple framework for vetting and validating those ideas, the best ones that you pull to the top. As usual, if you got value out of this video, please give it a like, share it with someone you think it might help. Don't quit your daydream. Cheers, y'all. See you next week.